At the end of the day, nobody knows what I went through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So nobody, you, him, whoever the fuck, you don't get to sit here and talk about shit.
Testing, testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me? What's happening, monkeys? Yeah, it's hump day. It's hump day. How y'all feeling out there, man? Chilling? I hope so. Yeah, yeah. Today I don't really have a much of a topic. I'm just gonna more or less freestyle it and you know just uh just do a little babbling. Let me Let me do this. What I'd like to do is have a little what I'd like to do is have a little background music while I run my mouth. You know, y'all cool with yeah. All right, so what do y'all think about that, man? Let me know in the chat. What up, extended clips? Top of the morning to you, my man. How's life treating you over there? In Oakland, I believe, right? Over there in Oakland. How's life treating you today, bro? Good? I certainly hope so. Yeah, so today I said I would freestyle it a bit. I don't have a whole lot. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but I really couldn't settle on one topic. So I said I would just kind of freestyle it, you know. You know, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, and see where it takes us. See where the internets and the YouTubes take us. You say all is well. Praise God. Thank you. Man, no problem, man. I want all my supporters to do well and be happy, man. Make money, you know, have a good time, have some great people in your life. A little loud over my voice, but a good idea. Yeah, let me, I'll see if I can turn it down a little more. See how that'll work. You know, what do you think about that? You know, I should probably move this mic closer. I don't want to have it too close to my face. You know, fools out here be making glizzy jokes. Yeah, you know, I ain't trying to set myself up for glizzy jokes. But yeah, man. Yeah, I want all my supporters to do well, because I feel like, you know, when you support and you put out good energy for the people that support you, man, it multiplies good vibes and good energy for everybody. So apparently, you know, let's do some celebrity gossip. You know, apparently Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion have been going back and forth. I guess to be the queen of rap, whatever that is. You know, whatever that is, queen of rap, man. You know, I tried to get into the rap industry back in the early '90s. You know, like around, you know, the early '90s, and I was with a group and we did shows, and we had a management company. I think I've covered this in the past and stuff. You know, I think by the time 1999 came, I was done with the industry. I was done. I was like, man, I don't, I, I'm not trying to deal with this mess. But you I think that was a big issue of one-itis, and I think that's the thing with black people, black black people in entertainment, um, in anything dealing with public attention. You got you know only one can be the top Negro, and it's like, you know, even with this YouTube stuff, man, it's everybody wants to be the next Kevin Samuels instead of being the next them. You know, there's plenty of money to go around. There's plenty of attention to go around. I mean, I would like a little more. As with anybody. As was anybody, as does anybody. But at the same time, I understand there's plenty of money and opportunity to go around. You know, ultimately you got to find your niche. Um, anyway, back to the subject. Nicki Minaj and um, Megan Thee Stallion have been going back and forth, and I guess Nicki Minaj made this diss track called Bigfoot. And if it's done in typical Nicki Minaj fashion, uh, she does the you know, different voice inflections, and Nicki Minaj at her core is a battle rapper. She's not just somebody that spits a bunch of bars. She's a battle rapper. She goes in to attack her target. Her target is another person. I mean, the she can do her you know, she can make a song about subjects, but usually her subject is another person. That's where she cut her teeth and she earned her stripes in the rap game. And so she made this diss track called, you know, Bigfoot, which was it was a diss to Megan Thee Stallion, who is she's a taller woman. She's a taller, more muscular woman. And so um, there's a journalist called Teray, and Teray's been around quite some time. Um, and I personally um, am not a fan of this guy. Never liked him. We'll put it bluntly. Me and him are in the same room. We're not speaking. I don't like him. I don't like his positions. I don't like. What up, Angry Snowman? I'm talking about this whole thing with talking about the hip hop side of the game and celebrity gossip. Um, there's a situation where Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion have been going back and forth. Nicki Minaj made a diss track called Bigfoot, referring to the size of Megan Thee Stallion, who she's a big woman, and you know, and Teray, who is a journalist, uh, he he had a lot of stuff to say about it, and like I said, like I was saying before, I've seen him around for years, and I've never liked him. Never will. It is what it is. It just some people don't jive. I think me and him would never jive. And it's not that I don't know people with his positions and stuff. He just reminds me of someone. Um, I wouldn't like at all. I would probably, get along with Destiny or Zestiny, as he is referred to um, by Mike Reed. Shout out to Mike Reed. I would probably get along with Zestiny quicker than I would Teray. Although I think they are pretty much the same person. Um, just one is dipped in chocolate, you know. um, but there's something extra about Teray um, that I don't like, besides the fact that I tend to, you know, um, take issue with feminine black men in particular. I can't stand them. you know, and it's not. It's one thing if they are homosexual. It's one thing if they're homosexual. Okay, all right. You go in peace. I'll stay over here. You stay over there with that. But if it's a guy calling himself, he wants to call himself a man, and he comes across with feminine energy, there's a special dislike I have for him. It's like, um, not real. Hmm, I have a special disgust for, uh, a feminine black man. You know, what up, Deacon Dave? How you feeling today, bro? Deacon be in these YouTube streets, man. No telling where he'll pop up. He's like the a gentleman of leisure of YouTube, man. You see him all over the place. Just chilling. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, Teray had a mouthful to say, and he used all of the woke buzz terms and buzzwords. Man, hey, give me a minute. There's a big bang outside my house. Let me take a look at it, man. Hey, they might have dropped a bomb or something, man. That was we have an issue with the transformers being exploding around my house. So let me take a look and see. All right, I'm back. It was nothing. It was delivery was dropped off, and you know it it was literally dropped off. So anyway, uh, yeah. Um, so anyway, Teray he did an article, um, which was directed at Nicki Minaj, and he had a whole lot of woke, intersectional, feminist talking points uh, uh, woven into the article, and he talked about, you know, it was pretty much a negative chiding of Nicki Minaj, and he said basically her attack on Megan Thee Stallion was based in patriarchy, you know, and he was real gumpish with it. He was real, he was real, he was real gumpish with it. I mean, you could read it and you could feel the gump energy. you can feel you can feel the choir boy energy while reading the article. He said, he talked about, Nikki's bars about um, the rumors of Megan um, doing sexual favors in exchange for opportunities and work in the industry. Uh, he, said something about Nikki making fun of Meg's size, and he was saying, something to the effect that back in the day, the Queens, he named like three rappers, and one he mentioned was Shantae, as in Roxanne Shantae. And he said that they didn't have to attack other women to be the queens of rap back in the day. And I was like, are you talking about um, Roxanne Shantae, who had a battle with the real Roxanne? I was like, yeah, is that who you're referring to? Because if that's the case, uh, that's pretty much what she did. Uh, you know, um, But yeah, man. He like I said, he went on this whole, intersectional feminist crusade. And see, and I don't like those guys because it's like, first of all, you know, um, leave that academic bullshit that was written by women who like to go down on women. Leave that ain't our lane. That's not the hip hop lane, and definitely when you talk about men who are men, if that's an issue between two women, let that be an issue between two women. Patriarchy has nothing to do with that. That's them. Secondly, you know, you're not in the rap scene, dude. You're as far as removed from rap as I am. What are you talking about rap for? You know, what are you talking about rap for? If anything, you need to be talking about politics. That's talk about, politics and especially geopolitics. And this is what I don't like about these weirdos because there's some very real geopolitical issues going on that are going to directly affect what American life looks like in the next few years. Really, in the next few months, with the immigrant crisis going on, um, and conceivably within the next few months, um, it's about to get crazy around here. Is crime control is going to become a even bigger business than it already is, and all of that defund the police noise they were talking a few years ago because it sounded good, and the leftists and the Marxists got that mess out. Guess what? They're going to be hiring everybody to be the police because crime's going to be out of control. Right now, commercialized sex on the street in places like New York and Nevada is out of control. It's out of control. You know, quiet as kept in Chicago, 25th district. Don't act like I don't know. I know the 25th district and I know the 15th district very well. It's out of control. Madison and Kenton got, it's literally got 31 flavors over there. If you got the money, so you you got that issue, and with that comes you know uh comes issues, health issues where the CDC has to get involved. There was already a lot of issues with like bed bugs, tuberculosis, and stuff like that have been largely eradicated until the, until around like maybe 2020 2014, the CDC and the Chicago, the Illinois Board of Health started seeing a resurgence of this stuff in Illinois, um, and this was due to um, an increasing number of immigrants coming into the Chicagoland area. But what's going on now, you're going to see a whole lot of stuff. They're going to fuck around and bring scurvy back. Straight up. I'm trying to get away from cussing so much, but they're going to fuck around and bring scurvy back and all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of infections because you have people that, who they're bringing whatever they had over from where they're coming from. They're bringing it to the U.S. and that stuff is going to be introduced into the greater population, which is something um, the Democrats and the left uh, did not take into consideration, or if they did, they conveniently ignored it. Next, you're dealing with a crime control problem. Um, and when I say crime control, you're going to be dealing with, you know, a lot of violent crimes because you're dealing with people who come from places like Guatemala, San Salvador, El Salvador, Honduras. You're dealing with people that you haven't effectively uh, identified and vetted, and you release them into the population. Some of these people are gang members. Some of these people are street people who are used to committing, certain crimes like thefts and robberies and stuff like that in order to get by. You think they're going to leave that where they came from? Just like that's not going to happen. Just like they brought whatever illnesses with them and diseases, they're going to bring their habits of procuring the things that they want and need. We've already seen that in California, the immigrants there have been committing robberies, organized robberies of houses in areas that in upper income areas. It was just a report on it. Um, so you've got that issue going. You've also got some of the immigrants that are coming over, and this is not all. That's the last time I'm going to qualify that. But some of them were involved with gangs, um, and maybe even a cartel. You know, um, who are used to using very violent acts to um, intimidate others, to gain control, to you know, um, to recruit, so forth and so on. Chicago already has a gang problem. Chicago already has a violence problem. You're going to see it explode. Same with New York, same with Colorado, same with California. It's the same with any of these places that have so called sanctuary cities. So you've got that. You're going to have more issues with things like crimes against kids. Being of Central American and Caribbean descent, um, I'll tell you for sure, in Belize and Honduras, it is not unusual for a man 25 or 30 to marry a 13 or 14-year-old girl. It's not unusual. You think them guys are really going to lead that over in them countries that they're coming from? Same thing in Guatemala. Same thing in parts of Mexico, you know. And then that's not taking into consideration those that are coming from the Middle East, China, places like Haiti, or properly pronounced Haiti, you know, you're going to have issues where there's going to be acts committed against children that, for the most part, most of the culture in the U.S. we find unacceptable. Because of that, and when all of this stuff happens, we got to make sure we put the accountability where it lays. This is the Democrats that did this. This is the leftists that did that. You know, so we got to take this all into consideration. Extended Clips says the cartels are already um, deep in the organized crime. They will dig deeper. Facts, and they're already in Chicago. I keep talking about the 25th district for a reason, because you have two different cartels operating in that district in particular, and they've been warring for years. It is not unusual for shootings that happen on Grand Avenue, North Avenue, uh, Fullerton, Fullerton and Laramie and stuff. I know that area well. I know who's over there. I know what happens. I know what happened years ago before I retired over there. I know what's happening now. I know how they shoot up the brickyard. you know, that that's not FBA's over there. And that's not to say FBA's are tearing up the 14th and the 15th district, acting a fool. You know, um, but in the 25th district, that's primarily Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. And we know that it's primarily the Mexicans with the connections to the cartels over there. And now you're introducing even more people that can't be easily identified by the police, that the police don't even know that's over there, but they can be over there and they can commit crimes, go disappear, go somewhere else, change their names and stuff. This was an issue, in fact, when I was on a task force, on a sex offender task force with Homeland Security a few years ago, and what our job was, what we were doing was we were taking into custody um, sex offenders who failed to keep up with their registration requirements and that were not U.S. citizens. And a lot of these offenders were either Mexican or Indian. Um, Typically, with the Indians, they would oftentimes go back to India. With the Mexicans, they would simply change their names, move, change their names. We could never find them. What's up, Blexit? You live in the 25th district, so you over there? You over there by Prosser High School? Are you by Prosser, or you which side of the 25th you live on? Because you'll know what I'm talking about. How close are you to Weber or Prosser? No, no, that's not Weber. I think that's one of the Luther schools. Well, anyway, over there you have a large um, Mexican and Mexican American population over there. You have a lot of issues with two with okay, so you live in Austin. No, Austin is the that's the 15th. That's the 15th district. So if you live in Austin, that's the 15th district. Um, so the 25th, you must be at the border, because when you go to Division, anything north of Division is the 25th. Anything south of Division is 15. um, what's his name? Austin Boulevard is the dividing line between Oak Park and Chicago. I know what I'm talking about. you know, um, so yeah, I was over in I was over in 15. You know, okay, you south of the Brickyard, over there in the M Town North Town border. Okay, all right, yeah. So you over there by Melvina and you know those streets like that, Menard, Massasoit, and streets like that. Um, okay, so you're south of the Brickyard. So that's not Austin. Well, you might live on Austin, and if you're because you're there, you are in the 25th. Anything south of Division, um, anything south of Division, that's pretty much over in that area. That's pretty much now where you live. Okay, yeah, that's a different area. Okay, so let me explain to you what's happening in the 25th. You have two different cartels, um, who they're operating over there. And that's basically for the that's where the north side plug is basically, and they have agreements with the traditional street gangs over there, and they've been fighting back and forth for control of that area. Lots of violence, lots of shooting. Last time I was over there in that area was 2022, and every other day somebody was getting shot over there. You know, it's just as bad as the 15th over there by Chicago Avenue and on Division south of um, anything south of Division. In fact, there were more shootings in the 25th than in the 15th in a lot of months. So you got a lot of cartel violence going on over there. So, all right, but all right, getting back to what I was saying with this immigrant situation, not only that, not only the things that I mentioned, uh, you know, with the with the burglaries and different things like that, you're also going to have retail thefts. You're going to have a lot of that stuff because you have people who, um, again, haven't been identified by the law enforcement community and therefore will be harder to catch and it will be easier for them to migrate into other places. So, Blexit says, nope, the Austin neighborhood has been extended to Harlem. Really? I know um, on the like around, I want to say like around North Avenue, um, that I know that that extends that pushes Chicago towards Harlem. So that might be what you're referring to. But hey, Blexit, man, I'm glad you came through, bro. I appreciate you. You know, before I go on, if you have not already hit the likes, do me a favor, hit the likes. Um, and let's continue. But you have that issue. You're also going to have an issue of human trafficking. So when I say um, human trafficking, a lot of people think uh, sex. They automatically go to sex. Most human trafficking actually is not sex. Most human trafficking is for labor, and it's most victims of human trafficking are actually males. Now, let the media tell it. Let the feminist machine tell you it's women. That's not true. It's men. You know, you see these guys that we people used to joke back in the day about the Home Depot guys. You go get you a truckload of Mexicans over there at Home Depot. It's true, and it's human trafficking. Um, you have you're going to have a lot of that going on because number one, these are people who will work for cheaper. Number two, these are people who are easier to control because of their immigration status. Number three, these are people who are largely unrecorded. So some, you violate, some right of theirs. Who they're gonna tell? So you're gonna have increases of crimes like that. You're gonna have increases in car thefts. Car theft is already a really bad problem in the Chicagoland area. It's going to get worse. You know, it's going to get worse. Snowman says, you just caused me to have a thought. Is the immigrant invasion a play to push harder vax policies? Yeah, yeah. Um, put it this way, I am not surprised if it is. I think that will definitely play a role. Dave says, at work responding when I can. Hey, don't worry about it, bro, man. I appreciate you being here at all, man. Having Deacon Dave, having you in the house, bro, that makes me feel good because, you are a connoisseur of YouTube content in this space. So, Extended Clip says, our social fabric, which is already tattered, will be more torn. Man, you know, uh, I'm gonna tell you, it's almost like you know. Well, it's not even a situation of almost. There's clearly an attack on the way of life of the U.S. citizen as a whole, and it's done. I have my theories, and I think the Holy Landers play a big part of it. It is what it is, but what it is that they're trying to destroy everything that was looked at as traditional, strong American norms and values, and replace it with debauchery, basically. Now, I'll be the first to say there are some traditional values that I don't agree with and that I think needs to be relooked at. Like, um, you know, looking at uh, how racism works. The thing about it is you have people that are traditionally racist. That being said, it doesn't work. You actually you're more productive. The more productive people you can get working, no matter what they look like. No, the more input from productive people you can get, the better things turn out for everybody. So it's like the way racism works. It works against productivity and achievement of the group. You know, that being said, forced integration and this DIE mess, which I'm going to get into because it's stupid. When you really look at it, it's a stupid concept, and I don't think people have really thought about it. But you know, forcing it is not going to work. Integration didn't work. Admixture does work. You know, you can't force when you force people to do something by policy. You're not going to have the same positive effects as you do when you naturally let things happen. Admixture works because this is people agreeing on their own terms. This is what we're going to do. And for those who don't agree, they don't participate. And they either, they separate themselves or they go they get out of the area. Admixture works. And when you force people to do something, when you turn what they do into a punishable violation, you turn their objections into a punishable violation, either through fines or jail time, or even social shaming. What you do is you create enemies of the state. You create uh, situations which become unfair and they violate rights. And this is why I have an issue with the idea of democracy, or mob rule. Democracy is an issue because the crowd can be wrong, especially when the crowd can be manipulated um, by those who wield power. You know, that's when you have a lot of followers. Um, that's how rights get violated. We're releasing people from our prisons every year, every month, due to Project Innocence because of democracy, and that people who subscribe to democracy thought somebody was guilty because somebody lied and shaped the narrative to make a person that was guilty who was really innocent. That's the issue with democracy. That person's rights weren't respected. You know, this is why, when people say America's a democracy, get the fuck out of here. We are a constitutional republic. We have guaranteed rights. Democracy, you don't have guaranteed rights. You are subject to the whims of the crowd. And right now, the crowd is a bunch of gumps. you know, um, so this is the issue that we're having. You know, but getting back to what I was talking about earlier with the crime situation, and how this is that Democrat bullshit. This is that democracy bullshit. We have certain, American citizens have certain rights. Uh, you know, People in the in the U.S. Domain, you're guaranteed certain rights, even if you aren't a citizen. But if nobody knows you're here, your rights don't have to be suspected. They have to be respected. Uh, Excuse me, suspected. I'm sitting up here talking like talking like O'Shea Duke Jackson. He uh Angry says democracy, communism light. Exactly. Yeah. Blexit says we already have a flip black Chicago red movement going on. Okay, we already have a flip black Chicago red movement going on right now, and there was an event at the Billy Goat Tavern with the Illinois Republican Party and Mark Carter. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all about the Billy Goat Tavern. I know something about the Billy Goat Tavern there, Blexit. Hey, a lot of political decisions have been made in this place. At the Billy Goat, the Billy Goat is where the movers and the shakers go. A lot of deals have been cut, a lot of political decisions have been made, a lot of a lot of lives have either been you know you know pushed forward or politically destroyed at the Billy Goat Tavern. That's a major place. The Billy Goat is, it's yeah, yeah. The Billy Goat has a long political history, long political history. Yeah, yeah. So, Bill, Blexit says the park they tried to put the illegals was right by me. Amundsen Park. Okay, yeah. In fact, one of my buddies is a boxing coach over there at Amundsen. I know exactly where you're at. But they were going and they were never put there, so we have our park now. Yeah, yeah, I know Amundsen Park, man. No, my buddy, he's a coach at Portage Park. I'm sorry, Amundsen. Um, I got another buddy that works with Amundsen, but you know, uh, yeah, I know the area. Um, but yeah, so um, you have that. You have those different crimes. You're going to have more counterfeiting because you're going to have people who are coming over who, um, you know, that's kind of their crime. Scams, counterfeiting, money laundering. That's the Somalians and that's the Africans. The Africans do a whole lot of that. I'm going to say it. Africans do a whole lot of that. You know, um, we talk about Rhoda Osman, the Somalian chick that was in Texas and Minnesota running scams. Chicago on the north side in Rogers Park, they have an increasing population of Africans up that way, and they are involved in a lot of scams. They are involved in a lot of scams. So yeah, you're gonna have an increase in that. You know, Blexit says P. Ray from WVON was at the Billy Goat event. She is a conservative host on WVON. WVON is a historic Chicago radio station that they there's a lot of talk radio. Blexit says the name of her show is the Black Excellence Hour, 1690 AM. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man. But you're going to have an increase in that. We already talked about the sex trade, and it's popping off in Chicago. I've already mentioned areas like Madison and Kenton, um, Cicero, and Laramie. The no, I'm sorry, Roosevelt and Cicero, the hotel over there. Yeah, I know about it. I know about it. Yeah, yeah, I know about it. You know, and actually, that whole area on Roosevelt, in between Pulaski and Cicero, you know, a lot of commercialized sex over there. Especially you have the factories back there by I want to say Carroll and stuff. Oh, no, not Carroll. I can't think of the name of the street right now, but Cicero and Costin area. Yeah, yeah. Kenton is the hot spot though. Kenton is they really be wild around there. But yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I so Chicago is about to be even more hot mess than it already is. And then uh Lake Street, not so much. Lake Street, it used to be Lake Street and like Green Street back in the day. Um, Lake Street, as of now, not as much as it used to. In that area, Lake Street isn't popping like it used to. Armitage Gardens though, Blexit. Armitage Gardens, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. With Armitage Gardens. Yeah, they got some, you know, they got some nonsense going on over there. But you're going to see a lot more of crimes of all type, and it's going to have to be addressed. And I keep telling you guys that there's going to be another crime bill, especially if Biden gets into office. And with what's happening, all roads point to Crime Bill 2.0. I keep telling you guys, I've told you guys before, about the um, what the black female political agenda is. They're going to criminalize black American men, um, directly. They're working on it right now. They keep pushing the narrative. We're being unalived every 45 minutes. They're pushing that narrative to get themselves extra protections and to get extra penalties for Black American men who, you know, who get into situations that turn violence with that turn violent, even if the violence is initiated by a Black woman. Um, you know, they're going to make you an even bigger criminal than they've already painted you as. You know, the scamming, um, penalties for scam. It's going to be a bigger focus on uh, scamming crimes and white collar crimes because that's the new. I told y'all before that's pretty much the new drug hustle. Uh, then there's going to be bigger penalties for uh, people who um, there's going to be bigger penalties against men who get involved with the sex trade as customers, but not as sellers. And the men that get involved with the sex trade as sellers will be, you know, it's the flip chickens. It's the flip chickens. That's it's the T types, you know. So and what's going to happen is they're going to make it to where you know, you're not going to simply just pay a $300 or $400 fine. They're going to be trying to use uh, lawfare to seize cars, seize houses, seize bank accounts, and things like that. That's what's coming. You know, the law is going to be very. The new crime bill is going to have a lot of misandry in there, and it's going to focus a lot on digital crimes and white collar crimes. So um, we're going to see we're going to see that. Blexy says my grandmother lived off Costner and Roosevelt, and they were always out there because of the factories in between Costner and Cicero and along Roosevelt. Now, hey, now I tell you too. Yeah, definitely I remember back in the days that definitely was a hot spot, and it probably still is. Um, I haven't been in Chicago actually for a few years, especially over in that area. Um, but you know, you had a lot of drug spots over there. You had a lot of drug spots over there. You know, off Costner. In fact, my chief of police was at that time he was on his way um, to the station to have a meeting with us, and he got stuck in the middle of a shooting where the shooter, um, you know, shot up a car like right up and right in front of him. It was crazy. It was a bananas incident. like uh, I can't even describe it. You know, we did an all call, and at the time, I was the only one in the area, so I responded. I was the first one to get there. Um, it was a hot mess. It was, but that area, man, yeah, yeah. So I definitely wouldn't doubt it. I seen more junkies around there, but they didn't specifically look like they were, you know, uh, on the blade. If you understand what I'm saying, Blexit. And that's not to say that um, those workers weren't there. I see more dope fiends over there than anything, man. You know, a lot of crackheads and dope fiends. And yes, there's a difference between a crackhead and a dope fiend. You know, a lot of people don't realize that there's a difference between a crackhead and a dope fiend. You know, they're all there's a difference between a junkie, a dope fiend, and a crackhead. They're all people who are addicted to a substance, but when you those terms have different meanings, you know. But yeah, man. So um, but you know, going forward, Um, they're going to criminalize being a man and standing up for masculine things. There was recently, um, blessed, exactly. Um, recently, I saw a video of like a patriot type movement. I want to say like the Patriot Front or something, but basically it was a bunch of white men who had masks on and stuff. They had American flags and they were marching down the street. Um, in in a what's called a company formation, and there was no violence. They had their flags. They were marching. They were quiet. And liberals lost their fucking minds. Oh my God. You should have saw the comments. They were losing. Oh, these are the KKKs and the white supremacists. And I was like, I put in a comment, no buildings were burned in this protest, no fire bombs, no attacks on the police, no blocking the traffic. I don't understand why you all think this is a problem. Like we didn't live through the summer of 2020, you know. And I'm pretty sure I'm a coon and stuff for that, but that's the reality. These guys are simply marching. They weren't tearing up stuff. They weren't twerking their butthole in front of small children. They weren't smashing store windows and looting stores. They weren't throwing stink bombs at the police and stuff. None of that stuff, But you know, their whole thing is to attack masculinity, attack men. When you look at what happened with the Detroit 300, these were black men who decided to secure their community and set standards for the area that they live in and to deal with the crime problem. And all the women and the leftists lost their mind. Oh, they are attacking our kids. And, did you know Officer Kurtz, who was shot outside 25th District in the 2020 riots? No, not especially. I knew the commander there, Cato. Uh, yeah, so yeah, I didn't know Kurt. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of officers that work at that work at the 25th. It's a the building itself is huge, you know. So yeah, and then I worked days, when I was over there. So but yeah, you know, they going back to what I'm saying, they shut down the Detroit 300. Um, they shut down and they decry and criminalize movements of white American men who want to uh, who, in their view, want to save the country from a lot of the problems that they see. In the meantime, these are the same people that have no problem with some 6'5" dude calling himself Kimmy and twerking in front of kids with no underwear on, twerking his nuts in his butt in front of small children. These are those people. So, you know, white man saying, "Hey, I don't believe my I don't like, all of this stuff that's going on in my country. Black men saying I don't like all of this stuff that's going on in my neighborhoods in my country. Bad. Those guys are bad. But some weirdo with a 5 o'clock shadow and makeup on, looking like Wanda, twerking his butthole in front of some small kids. Oh, he's fine. Yeah, that's what we should move the country and the culture towards. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with, and this is the problem, you know, and this is where we as men we have to um we have to readjust our focus and rethink certain things. um, for black men. This relationship conversation shit, fuck them hoes. Fuck them. Let them go. Let them go. Just let them do what they gonna do. Fuck them hoes. You you need to have that attitude because politically you're going to have to vote for some stuff that is against what they want in their own best interest. You can't sit up here and listen to the crazy shit that these Kamalas and these Fani's and these that uh the Sanders chick and these Joy Reids, you're going to have to vote against whatever they support because what they usually support is against the best interests of the country. So you're gonna have to say, fuck them bitches. White men. Muslims are not your enemy. Islam is not your in fact, Islam is showing you exactly what you need to do to get your neighborhoods back, to get your communities back. They have laid the blueprint. Christianity at this point has failed you. They are blessing gay weddings. Christians are allowing, you know, Big Kimmy to twerk his butthole in front of your kids. Christianity says nothing to your daughter Emily for disrespecting you for simply being a man. And Islam is like, we're not having that. Islam is not playing that game. Muslims are not your enemy. You have enemies that are Muslims. The country has enemies that are Muslim, and we as a country, we will address them. We have a whole lot of hot missiles we can drop on their head. But Islam as a whole is not your enemy. You don't want to be a Muslim? Fine. We got what we got over here. They got what they got over there. High fences make good neighbors. But even Muslim men who come to the U.S., they're not, in general, they're not your enemy. So stop focusing on eradicating Islam and eradicate the Bussy Mafia. Eradicate the El Gibbets, if anything. Not not homosexual people, but that agenda. It's got to go. It's a new religion. And that religion has got to go because it's competing with everything that works for you and I. We as men, we got to figure out. Um, we need to figure out uh, things that we have in common, especially Black American men and Black and White American men. Instead of focusing on our differences, oh well, uh, I don't like potato salad. I don't like barbecue. Instead of focusing on little shit, we got to understand. Guess what? In the foxhole, we either gonna survive together or we're gonna die together. It's more likely we're gonna die together in the foxhole. So all of that bullshit that we have been taught before, that shit don't work for neither one of us. So we need to figure out some kind of common ground as men and say, hey, we need to take our country back. American men, black or white, and anybody else that believes in the believes in the concept of the US. We got smoke from Russia, we got smoke from China, we got smoke from Iran. We got smoke from these different ideologies such as Al Qaeda, ISIS, and stuff. Yeah, and Al Qaeda is they say it's back, but it never went anywhere. Trust me, I know it never went anywhere. Uh, but we got smoke from a lot of places. We in this together, whether y'all like it or not, and that's for both sides. We in this together. Either we gonna ride or we gonna die. together. So we as men need to figure it out. All of this lone wolf shit, the days are over. You need to find yourself a tribe. You need to make alliances. And you need to figure out what it is you're going to do because with what's coming, we are going to need each other more than we don't need each other. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. American men, we are in trouble from the outside and the inside. You got weirdos and Marxists and commies trying to destroy us from the inside. And we got enemies on the outside we got to deal with. And y'all and we as Americans we're focusing on the wrong thing. Black men are focused on pussy and white men are focused on Islam and other dumb shit. Black men, if you're already the garbage of the dating relationship market, then you can afford to not get all the pussy in the world. It ain't that serious. It's really not. The majority of people on the planet have a vagina. So do be more than a dildo for somebody that don't like you. you know, you're worrying about pleasing the bitch when we got real shit we got to deal with. You still got to sign up and you still got to register and be available for selective service. And guess what? For certain nonviolent felons, with what's coming, you're going to have an opportunity to get that felony expunged through military service. Trust me, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. They've already removed the high school requirement. The high school and the GED requirement, they've removed it. Trust me on that. I know. Next, for nonviolent felons, you're going to have a chance to have that record expunged through military service and be able to get all the benefits of military service should you survive. Trust me, it's coming. As men, we're going to get the blame if shit go bad anyway. So you might as well, you might as well take control. If you don't lead, they're gonna complain. If you lead, they're gonna complain how you lead. So you might as well do what's in your best, what's in your own benefit, in your own best interest. Blexy says, I agree, but we just don't get along though. So that's why I say you got to sit down and figure out, you know, points of common interest. You don't have to be kumbaya as uh as men, um, but you do have to have areas of common interest to where you say, hey, you know, we're gonna have to divide this pie up. We're gonna have to protect what we all have so that we can continue to have it, and we'll deal with each other uh, after that. But right now, we got a bigger enemy, you know. So it's gonna take an act of God to make white man put. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Brexit. I was in the military in combat arms for most of my military career. And yeah, I ran into some white guys that were you know, they had some racial hangups. Um, but they were far and fewer in between than you know, I got white guys that I was in the military with, a lot of them that man, I talked to at least once, twice a month. they are like they're like family because of the shit we went through on deployments, through training and stuff like that. They are like family, you know. Um, they're brothers. If I need something, I can call one of them and say, "Hey, I need this," and if they don't do it themselves, they'll facilitate. They'll help. You know, and that's the thing. It's one of those situations because we depended on each other for survival. We all became family, and that family bond, once it was formed, it never really went away. You know, man. So it really depends, man. And for the most part, I'm gonna tell you something. Most white men and most black men want the same thing. They want to be able to take care of their families, be able to make a little money, be able to have a little status, uh, to be recognized both as a man in title and to have their humanity recognized as men and want to be able to live their lives. That's most men, white, black, or any other race in this country. They're not Most white men don't give a fuck about the racial shit. I'm gonna tell you, because I'm around them all the time. You know, you say this is most difficult in the Chicago area because it's so segregated and we have our preconceived notions about each other, which aren't always good either. That's true. Um, and Brexit, what's going on in places like Chicago, it is a you're dealing with more people than uh, jobs and resources and political power. Chicago is divided up like that for political power and control. Think about think about the 19th ward, and if you know Chicago, you know what the 19th ward is. You know who's there. That's primarily your Irish Americans, firemen, police officers, city workers, and stuff. It's a political power thing. And you have blacks that live over there that are also of that, but it's primarily them. Chicago is segregated because it's economics, it's political power, it's stuff like that. That's done intentionally. It's like it was put into place, and the system never transcended that. But guess what? It's going to. You're going to see a lot of that dissipate because uh, the immigrant invasion. Trust me on that. It's not going to all go away, but a large part of it is going to disappear because of all of the shit that's about to happen. You know, but again, most men in the U.S. they just want to they just want to be worth something to their families. They want to be able to make a living. You know, buy the stuff that they need and get some of the stuff they want. Um, all blacks live in Mount Greenwood. Trust me, they live in Beverly and Mount Greenwood. Trust me, not a lot, but they're there. You know, So, for those of you all who don't know, Mount Greenwood and Beverly are areas in Chicago that's pretty much like the 19th Ward, and that's the stuff I was talking about with the city workers and the firemen and police, and all of the big wigs, a lot of your politicians and stuff from the Chicagoland area, they live there. Then you have Ravenswood in Chicago, Ravenswood, like Old Town. Old Town is also Boys Town. For those of you all who know Chicago, you know what shenanigans happen over there. But certain areas in Chicago, you're gonna have certain things. But the thing, getting back to this whole talk with you know, the divide between white American men and black American men. Um, that stuff is going to go away because we are getting closer to World War III. It is what it is. Your racial sensibilities um, are going to have to take a back seat to um, American nationalism, to U.S. nationalism, because that's going to be the key to your survival and the survival of your progeny and stuff like that. It's coming, you know, um, and so we as men, because we're being attacked on all fronts, we as U.S. Um, citizens, men who are U.S. citizens, we're being attacked on all fronts, um, both nationally and in a geopolitical sense. We're going to have to make, we're going to have to reevaluate uh, how we carry on in life, out of our current situations, because shit is going to change for the worst, and it's not going to be a race thing. It's going to be a class thing. It already is, but it's going to be in your lap to where you can't get past it. So then what? What you gonna do? Huh? What are you gonna do? The more the more allies you have, the better. No man is an island. And this is the thing I think um a lot of I'm starting to see it more and more on YouTube, uh, especially with male content, and I agree with it. Again, finding your tribes, and your tribe needs to be bigger than just a racial group. Because if you look at what's going on with the pro blacks, you know, the stuff that they uphold has it doesn't benefit you as a black man. It doesn't benefit you as a man. It's woman worship. It's vagina worship. At the end of the day, you know, their biggest talk is about pleasing black women, and not about economics, not about buying land and resources and stuff. It's about coochie. So you need to find a different tribe. If you can't find a tribe and you don't like the tribes out there, you need to make a tribe. You don't like the Greek fraternities and stuff. Okay. Start your own group. You know, there's more than just the Greeks. If become a Freemason, if you believe Freemasons are devil worshippers or whatever, okay, then there's the JCs, there's the Eagles, there's the Elks, there's the Odd Fellows, there's more than just Freemasons. You don't like none of them, start your own group. You know, I'm at the point to where, hey, um, join a gang. you know, Go join a gang. If but you need a group. If you don't like any of the groups that's out there, get a group of your guys together and create your own group. Network and procure resources, procure opportunities, and then expand your group and create those for others. Have something to offer, be useful to the group, be useful to others, because you're going to need it. You know, I'm trying to build a vet bro community. I'm trying to build a vet bro community where, um, you know, it goes beyond simply, stuff dealing with, I used to be in the military, and you know, I want vets to be able to network, continue a certain training, uh, support each other with, dealing with issues like PTSD, stuff like that. Um, you know, helping each other, you know, learn about the opportunities that are still available for veterans. You know, you know, starting, starting and participating in sports leagues for veterans and stuff like that. Just you know, to give us some cohesion and camaraderie without having to put on uniforms. You know, um, it's an extension of what happens with, you know, the VFW and the American Legion and the Mumford Point Marine Society, you know, different things like that. You know, with the you know the Ranger Foundation and stuff. This is what I want to do is an extension of that, and not only for veterans, you know, for us, but for also for kids that are young men that are interested in going into the military, um, giving them mentors, you know, depending on what it is they want to do. Because if you understand, like I understand, there are guys who are going to go, uh, who want to become Navy SEALs, who want to become U.S. Army Special Forces, who want to become Rangers, who want to become Recon Marines, who want to become, you know, Air Force combat controllers and pararescue. Um, if you know, like I know, the best time to start that training is when you're around 13 or 14 years old. This is what the Boy Scouts were. That was a big part of what the Boy Scouts are for. If you don't know, if you don't already know, that's what that was for. But we don't have that nowadays because the Boy Scouts are full of women and pedophiles. Straight up. So we need to have something else. We need to have other mentors to kind of help these guys, you know, help guide young men who want to do that in that direction so that they can be successful the first time they go out. Because a lot of the people that go out for that, it takes them, you know, at least 2 times before they're successful. With Ranger School, it is not unusual to see somebody who was on their third time in Ranger School. With Special Forces, you've had guys, you know, 3 times because it's tough. All of that stuff is tough. If you have a young person that decide they want to go to West Point or Annapolis or something like that, or the Citadel, guess what? They start getting ready for that at around 11 years old. Those are Ivy League schools, whether you realize it or not. Those kids need mentors. They need people to tell them, hey, this is what you got to do. This is how you prepare if this is where you want to go. Instead of, you know, them having a crapshoot, you know, and you know, especially like with young black men, you know, their moms will decide, you know, since he ain't tall enough to be, you know, in the NBA and he's too slow to be in the NFL, but he just ain't built like that. We gonna send you to the Air Force, or we gonna get you to go to the Naval Academy. Bitch, that's an Ivy League school. He might not be smart enough to get into one of those. And if he is smart, you need to start when he's like around 11. Trust me, because I've seen too many people, you know, say that dumb shit and not know what it takes to get in those schools. And I know people that have gotten those schools, and I know how many years it took them to work up to that point. A lot of them start in military academies when they're, you know, when they're young, and they work their way to that stuff because it's not easy. None of that stuff is easy. But this is where having your groups, those are groups, that's a group I want to start. You may have a group, you may or may have an idea for a group that you want. And you know, the group can't simply be about these bitches ain't shit. We know we know the vast majority of them aren't shit. You know, That's a given. Okay, and they ain't shit. Now what? Now what? You know they ain't shit. Now what? What are you gonna do for yourself? Because you can't worry about them. If we all agree that they ain't shit, now what? You still got to eat. You still got to make money. You still may want children. You still got to find value in life. You still need friends and allies to help you get things done. You know, you still need protection. I mean, yeah, you can personally protect yourself, but it's always great to have friends to help protect you. Y'all can protect each other. You still need a group at some point. So if you don't like the groups that's out there, then make your own. But you need a group. Human beings are social. We're social creatures. Even the nerds, the nerds and the Pokemon players, they have groups. Once you get a group, you can expand on what it is that group does. You can expand on what it is that group means. But we need groups. And even those groups need allies. Like I said, I've got white guys that I was in the military. We've been friends for 11, 12 years. I got Green Beret buddies that I talk to 3, 4 times a year. I wasn't a Green Beret, but I got Green Beret buddies because in the course of us doing our respective jobs, we all became friends. And we've been friends ever since. You all need to do that. No man is an island. Even though it feels like that, and when it feels like that, you need to go get some friends. Some friends that care about you. Some real friends. You know? And especially now that friends are really the new family. Friends are the family that you choose. Get yourself some good friends so they can be like family to you. Because for what's coming, you're going to need that. Trust me. We as men are going to be attacked and oppressed on all sides because of our past failures, quite frankly. You know, certain stuff we didn't check. You know, and it's not really the women, it's the men, because a lot of men allowed a lot of bullshit and provided a lot of cover for a lot of bullshit. Oh, let her talk. Sometimes she needs to shut the fuck up. Sometimes she needs to shut the fuck up. You know, we've let a lot of simps, a lot of suckers, a lot of gumps have too big of a voice. They call what you do and how you should be as a man toxic. But these same people expect you to lay down your life at the drop of a hat to protect those people that are calling you toxic. That simp legislature, he got a draft deferment. He got an exemption from the draft. But your daddy had to go. Your daddy had to go to Vietnam. Your daddy had to go to Korea. Your grandpa and great grandpa, they had to go to World War One and Two. But that sissy dude, that Gump, he got some kind of deferment. He got an exemption. And that's the same punk that wrote policy. That's why we need to get him up out of there. That's why we need to neutralize his power. That's why we need to marginalize him. Because when it's all said and done, we're the ones that got to put blood on the line if this nation goes to war. He's going to hide. You ain't going to be able to. So, since that's the case, he shouldn't have more say than you. He holds up women to hide behind them. He's got to be stopped. I'm telling you, the women ain't as much of the issue as the men in power that enable them. Because guess what? But what's coming? Women don't want to be on the front lines of that shit. It's all they right now. They're all they're twerking. They're politically twerking and all of this stuff now because it's easy. But it's about to get hard for all Americans, all U.S. citizens. When I say American, it's kind of a misnomer. I've explained that before. When you say America, it's not just the U.S. So, but for all U.S. citizens, it's about to get hard. Women don't like it hard, and believe it or not, you have men that are going to be hiding behind women. Blexit says, extended clip says, strength the numbers, facts. Blexit says, honestly, I'd be kind of nervous in living in a neighborhood like Mount Greenwood, Edgebrook. Hey, there's going to be problems wherever you live, man. You know, thing is, get yourself some friends. That's the thing. Get yourself some friends. Make some acquaintances. You know, there's issues everywhere you live. You live in Austin, you might get shot at the front door by little Tay Tay. So, you know, little Paco, you know, you get shot, get robbed, get your car stole. It's gonna be problems. You know, most of these white guys nowadays, they don't like you. They just don't fuck with you. They just don't say nothing to you. That's just the truth. They don't. They don't like you. They'll go, I don't like those black people in the comfort of their own home. They ain't coming outside saying that shit. Trust me. They don't like you. They just don't fuck with you. So we got to get past that. As a country, them Russians don't give a shit what your race is. The Chinese don't give a shit of what your racial issues. They want you all. They wanna impose their will on all of us, regardless of color. Regardless of color. Black says you in Galewood, the Beverly of the West Side. Yeah, yeah. But that's the thing. We as men, we gotta get past of what's really petty differences. We gotta take back our churches. We gotta take back our religious centers. We gotta take back our schools. We gotta take back um, places of business and stuff like that. We gotta take back our politics, you know, because again, we are the only people that are going to have to shed our own blood for this stuff when um, when the shit hits fan. So, you know, I'm not the self improvement to get women guy. I'm not. I don't care about that. But you need to self improve so that you can survive that you know, your bloodline can continue if that's what you want. I don't care about self improvement to improve uh, someone with a vagina because most people on this planet have vaginas. Vaginas all work the same, bro. But self improve for your survival. Learn how to hunt, learn how to shoot, learn how to fight, learn how to fight with a weapon, and learn how to fight bare hand. Get your skill sets up, learn how to survive, learn how to read the environment. Get physically fit to where you can run at least 2 miles if you need to. This is not to improve a bitch. They come and go, believe me. They do. This is for your survival. Learn how to fight with a weapon in close quarters. Because what's coming, it ain't about bitches. Trust me. It's not. It ain't about the vagina. Learn how to purify water. Your survival depends on it. Learn how to field dress, uh, you know, meat and stuff like that, that you hunt. And your survival depends on it. Learn what you can and can't eat in the environment. Learn what you can use as medicine in your environment. You're gonna need it, trust me. That's one of the most powerful things that I learned from the white guys I was in the military with. Some of them were what's called foragers, and uh, they taught me about foraging. What you can go into the environment right in your backyard, right in those lots and prairie paths that you can use for your survival, that you can use as medicine, you can use as food, that you can use to catch food. They taught me this stuff way back 2007, 2008. Stuff I didn't know. I, I grew up in the city. You needed medicine, you go to the store. You needed food, you go to the store. These guys knew how to live off the land. Like for real. White guys. You know, we're in we're in a situation where we're all gonna have to figure out how to survive. Because it's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before the enemies of the US try to bring violence to the US. What are you gonna do then? You can't depend on the government to save you. Women are gonna learn this the hard way. And that's where class is going to come in. It's not gonna be a racial thing, it's gonna be a class thing. Trust me. What are you gonna do then? So yeah, man. Find yourself a tribe, self improve for survival, politically, vote in your own best interests. These are the things that are important. These are some of the things that are important to us as men. You know, don't be concerned about being an alpha to someone with a vagina. Believe me, it's a waste of time. If you're going to be an alpha, if you fancy yourself an alpha, you need to be an alpha to other men. If you are a beta, you need to be a beta to men. And being a beta is not a bad thing. Women got y'all thinking being a beta is a bad thing. That's the stupidest shit because them bitches don't know what they're talking about. Being a beta is not bad. Women got y'all misunderstanding Sigma. You know, a Sigma is the alternate leader of the group. The only difference between an alpha and a Sigma is that an alpha needs to constantly have control of the group. A Sigma doesn't. A Sigma will step in the alpha position when need be, and a Sigma keeps the alpha in check. But they're essentially the same person. Most of you guys are actually gammas. That's just being truthful. That's just being truthful. And there's nothing wrong with it. We need gammas. What you don't want to be is an omega. You don't want to be an omega. You need gammas. What is the other one? Because you need men who specialize. You need men who have a higher skill set that's developed higher than others. And that needs to be to where you are useful to other men. Stop worrying about what the bitch says because she changes her mind every 3 days. You think you're a Sigma, Blexit? Can you lead but don't need to lead? That's one of the big ones. Plan, prepare, position, and possession. I like that extended clips. I like that. That's bars. I like that. But that's the thing, man. You guys are. I'm not gonna say you guys. There are too many guys that are worried about impressing women. Well, I get it because most of you guys are at that age to where your sexual imperative, your the biological imperative is strong. Men want sex. Men want a relationship with a woman that they can trust. I get all of that. I get all of I get all of that. So okay, all right, Blex. All right, you probably more likely you're Sigma. If you're asking if you're being asked to lead, you probably are a Sigma, bro. Either that or you're Sigma or Beta. Because remember, a Beta is the next in line. A lot of people, because bitches are so busy running their mouths and you guys are listening to them, you guys don't realize that the Beta is the second in command. When that Alpha is out, the Beta is the next in line. The difference between the Beta and the Sigma is the alternate leader. He's the people's champ. The Beta is the formal next in line. But anyway, you guys, y'all got to stop listening to these bitches, man. They don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, they change their mind every 3 days. Hear them, but don't listen. Hear what they're saying, but don't listen. And stop trying to impress them. If you're doing what you need to do for you, one of them will be impressed. Trust me. And it might not be the one you want, but you got to remember the majority of people on the planet have vagina. You'll find one eventually. A lot of you guys find more than one, but you need to do the things to take care of you. You need to do the things to establish your self worth. You need to uh, you need to gain your riches and resources for you. You know, um, and that's the thing. And I'm not saying that women are bad people. What I'm saying is that men need to look out for men first. When you as a man, when you've taken care of the things that you've taken care of, then you can if you choose, bring a woman into that. If you're listening to what the woman says that will make her more desirable to you, desirable of you, that will make you more desirable to her, you've already lost. You've already lost. And understand this: since you can only have the way society is set up, you can only have one woman anyway. Stop worrying about all the rest of them bitches. You know, one will come along. That you could possibly have a long term relationship with. I get it. You want sex and stuff. Hey, listen, recreational sex is all over the place. It's not hard to get, especially in this day and age. It's like the Wild Wild West. Quite frankly, the thing is that with what's coming, sex is your least concern. Survival will be your utmost concern. Your freedom will be your utmost concern, not bitches. I I know grown men right now. I'm in my 50s. I'm 52. I know grown men my age. They constantly looking at pictures of women. And I'll say this: the only guys that really do this are black guys. And y'all get the fuck on my nerves because it's always about bitches. It's like ass picture after ass picture after ass picture. It's like, dude, is that all you fucking talk about? You're at the point to where you're on the decline of your dick working, and you still worried about it's bitch worship. It's vagina worship, and it's like it's annoying as fuck at a point because it's like, damn. Every time I talk to you, you talking about these bitches. Let's talk about getting some money. Let's talk about how to fix some shit. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about these fucking video games. Anything but the why are we always talk why are you always talking about bitches? And so I have to when I come across a guy like that, I have to kind of limit my conversation with guys like that. And they still cool people, because when it counts for other stuff, then you can snap their focus out of it and focus on the task at hand. But like after it's over, they go back to the bitches, and it's like you know, I'm not trying to, yeah, it's the fixation on bitches, it's the fixation on vagina that they can't get. It's a fixation on pictures. And that I find that problematic. My thing is well, it's a waste of mental energy. Worrying about bitches. you know, and I'm married and stuff, and you know, um, I know it's how I talk is disturbing to women when they hear it, but I guarantee the reality is the other side is just as disturbing. Some guy that's always focused on looking at bitches because it's like, damn, dude, you know, you ain't out doing accomplishing other shit. This is the shit that these raggedy goofy bitches talk about. This is why I said you can't really listen to them, because when you do, well, you can't really take what they say into account, because on the other side, if a guy's too fixated on 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 the female figure, then he becomes thirsty. Ooh, what's his problem? He a dog. He thirsty. So you can't listen to him. So you can't take what they say into serious consideration. You know, but again, man, the big thing is to get you a group that wants to that have the same values, the same interests, and the same things are at stake as you. So this is uh this is what we got to focus on, because and I keep going back to what's going to what's coming. That's because we all got to get ready, man. It's the world is about to have some big changes. Yesterday I talked about that telepathy um program, that the Neuralink thing that Elon Musk has been talking about, and they successfully implanted a chip in a human brain that can control like smartphones and other devices like that. The world is changing. We as men have to be ready for it. And like I said, we're being attacked on all sides. You got people that want men to change only for them to turn around and say you all suck as men. So since you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't, you might as well do what's in your best interest as a man. I'm going to keep saying that. Extended Clip says it's getting serious. So yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be your fault. It's gonna be your fault anyway. So hey, you might as well take the bull by the horns. Uh, you know. Guess what? If China and Russia has its way, black men and white men gonna be slaves together. So we might as well figure out a way together to keep that shit from happening. you know. So I mean, there's a lot of shit that we as men got to come to terms with. You know. So yeah, all of this shit that we've been worrying about, you know, it's because we're too comfortable. If you spend a lot of time focusing on women, is because you're too comfortable. You don't you obviously have too much to eat and too much time on your hands. If all you're worried about is pleasing bitches, you know. So there's too many other things, too many other real things to worry about, you know. And that's the thing we gotta we gotta focus on. Life has gotten too comfortable. All the shit all of these women complain about, you know what's at the root of it? They're too comfortable. They're too comfortable, you know. And they all want to be boardroom execs. They all have Barbie fantasies and stuff. When share, they all want to be boardroom execs, when it's going to come a point to where um that equality is going to call for you to be a plumber, chick. They don't want them jobs. They don't want the dirty jobs. They want the jobs with the fancy titles, and they get to walk around in dress clothes and stuff all the time. That's why I can't listen to them. They don't want equality when it comes to uh being a brick mason. So hey, let me I take a call for a second. Um so um
Let me get some money,
Kodak.
babe. I say, man, I ain't got no money. That money you be seeing me with on Instagrams, that be fake money, man. That be prop money. This is not my money, girl. I do not have nothing. Let me get some money, babe. I say, man, I ain't got no money. That money you be seeing me with on Instagrams, that be fake money, man. That be prop money. This is not my money, girl. I do not have nothing. Let me get some money, babe. I say, man, I ain't got no money. That money you be seeing me with on Instagrams, that be fake money, man. That be prop money. This is not my money, girl. I do not have nothing. Let me get some money, babe. I say, man, I ain't got no money. That money you be seeing me with on Instagrams, that be fake money, man. That be prop money. This is not my money, girl. I do not have nothing.
All right, I'm back. Everybody want to call me today, but yeah, man, there's a lot more stuff we got to focus on. You know, yeah. So, you know, in these social media spaces, in these YouTube spaces, I think we as men need to kind of get away from to talk about the obvious. Sorry about that. And to talk about the obvious is that these bitches ain't shit. The majority of them, they're not. It is what it is. Either you deal with them or you don't deal with them. You know? So, you know, the things that we got to focus on is improving ourselves for our survival. You know, and being worth something in the company of other men. You know, so those are the real important things. You know, those are the things we got to focus on. Women will come when we do the things that we need to do to truly get ourselves together. So, that being said, I'm going to shut this down for now. And if I feel I need to, I'll come back and I'll do something later. You know, run my mouth. Right now, I got to run to the store and get some groceries for dinner tonight. You know, and you know, get some stuff done around the house. You know, hey, have any of y'all seen my pool? I know back in the day, I showed the pool in my house and stuff. You know, falling raggedy bitches that be saying you dusty. I'm like, okay, you're right. I'm dusty. But man, I appreciate you guys coming through. Look like I got 11 views. Do me a favor, on your way out, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Do me that favor because I'm trying to hit this algorithm. If you aren't already subscribed, do me a favor and subscribe. You know, if you feel it in your heart and you want to donate to my cause, hit the Cash App. You know, I appreciate any donations, but I really appreciate the likes. You know, I really appreciate the likes, man. So you just, Blexy, you just getting back from Latin America. You mean the brick? Ah! Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get on out of here. Hey, take it easy. Extended clips. Deacon Dave, Blexit, Mike Reed, if you're in here. Snowman. Hey, y'all take it easy, brothers. I appreciate you guys coming through. I see you guys on my next on my next live stream. Y'all take it easy.